What's going on, everyone? I am your host, Samuel Richardson III, and welcome to the Affirmative Talk Show. I am excited. I'm definitely excited, and I'm just very disappointed at the same time as well on this particular topic of conversation that we're going to be talking about. Do me a favor before I get into the topic of this conversation. If you want to support the channel, you can actually support it by sending your cash app. If you want to support the channel, you can actually go to my YouTube. You can do the super thanks. You can also hit the join button for the membership community, all of those things of that nature, and it will be greatly appreciated. Um, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker was awarded $2 million in settlement with the city of Louisville. Um, my thoughts on the situation, when I first heard about the situation, I didn't like it. I feel that $3 million, $2 million is not enough money. Now, I know people are going to have their say so. You can have your say so on your own platform. But $2 million doesn't hold that weight when you're talking about what happened to Breonna Taylor. What happened to Breonna Taylor is egregious. You're talking about a young Black queen whose life was taken far too early. And it's despicable. It's egregious, in my opinion. And I think it's very disrespectful and rude when I see a settlement for just $2 million. And you're going to have some people that's going to say, you know what, man, $2 million, man, he could change his life around, man. He could come, he can come up. I've been reading some comments that he could come up in all those type of situations. But to me, it's bigger than that. If you know anything about the story of what happened to Breonna Taylor, there's no way in God's green earth that is just despicable when I know how she died. She was laying in her bed. A no-knock warrant where you have officers ransack in her house, damaged the front door, and immediately started shooting and killed her while she was laying in the bed. If that's not a bad way to die, you mean to tell me the pain and suffering that she faced? And you mean to tell me $2 million is enough? Nah, it's not enough. And I'm going to explain my reason why it's not enough. I don't like just to talk. I'm going to explain my reason and back it up with some instances of other situations where people have been getting paid more money. But let's go into this topic of conversation on who Breonna Taylor was. As you can see in this article that was written by CNN, that Breonna Taylor had big plans before the police knocked down on her door. Now, she worked at a Steak and Shake. She held a job driving senior citizens to their appointments. Now she was living her passion as an ER medical technician. And this was article was written back on February of 2022. Now, her next goal, Breonna Taylor, was to become a nurse. That was her next goal, what Breonna Taylor was going to do. She said, and her family believed that she could. They nicknamed her Breeway because whatever Breonna Taylor wanted, she found a way to make it happen. Now, it's very important to understand that her personal life was thriving too. Her boyfriend had an engagement ring and was ready to propose and start a family together. That's with Kenneth Walker. Now, Taylor wanted a baby girl and already had picked out the name, sources say. But those plans died with her on March the 13th of 2020. When 3 Louisville officers burst into her apartment after midnight with a no-knock warrant. Now, this is something that is very important that I want to bring to the audience. Can you imagine you're in your house, whether you're asleep or you're just watching a movie and it's past midnight, and then the next thing you know, something unthinkable happened where the door was bust open and you have men that coming into your house with weapons, with weapons. Now, the story also said that Taylor had drifted off to sleep after watching a movie in bed with her boyfriend when this situation had happened, Kenneth Walker. The officers banged on the green door with a gold number 4 on it, and they used a battering ram to break this door down. Fearing an intruder, Kenneth Walker, who was the boyfriend of Breonna Taylor, opened fire. You have to understand, he has the right to bear arms. He has the right to defend not only himself, but his girlfriend, Breonna Taylor, because they had a no-knock warrant, which means they did not knock on the door and say it's the police. They actually bust open the door with a battering ram and started shooting. Now, the officers responded by unleashing a barrage of bullets. My goodness, man. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think Kenneth Walker's immediate reaction would be?
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
What do you think if someone busts into your house and you have weapons in your house? You supposed to unload your clip, unload your revolver. That is your duty. That is your right. That is your house. It's someone, which was the cops, that broke in. Unjustifiable. Now, Walker was unarmed, but Taylor, following him down the hallway toward the front door, was struck multiple times. My goodness, man. Come on, man. Almost 2 years later, the only criminal trial linked to the botched police raid is finally about to start. Brent Hankinson is the only one of the 3 officers facing criminal charges. He's accused of 3 counts of felony wanton endangerment for blindly firing 10 shots into Taylor's apartment and has pleaded not guilty. And you may be saying, like, man, this is egregious. You're talking about someone whose life was lost because these officers had the audacity to ramsack into her actual room and started shooting. And you mean to tell me that a settlement of only $2 million is enough? Oh, okay then. So let me give you a case. Let me give you a case. Let me give you a case. Because I mean, somebody may be watching me right now, and somebody may be saying, "Hey, $2 million is a lot of money. $2 million, saying he could change his life around for $2 million." But let me give you this case back in 1992. It was called the McDonald's hot coffee case, right? Let me read you this case and let me get you your thoughts. Now, mind you of the year, not 2022, not 2020. We're talking about way back in 1992 when the cost of living was much lower. Now, in 1992, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck bought a cup of coffee, of a takeout coffee at a McDonald's drive-thru in Albuquerque and spilled it on her lap. Now, with Stella, she sued McDonald's and a jury awarded Stella nearly $3 million in punitive damages for the burns she suffered. $3 million. And this was back in 1992. So you mean to tell me Kenneth Walker, who was involved in the situation, who was right there beside Breonna Taylor, tried to protect Breonna Taylor in the heat of bullets coming at not only him, but Breonna Taylor. And he's being forced to get a weapon to fire back to defend, to save not only his life, but Breonna Taylor's life, which that did not happen because she ended up dying. And you mean to tell me that the settlement is $2 million? But Stella Lieback in Albuquerque sued McDonald's and got $3 million for getting burns from hot coffee. So you tell me where the equation lines up. Tell me where's the balance? That's what pain and suffering is amount to when it comes to Breonna Taylor, who can't come back to life, whose life is gone, her career is gone, her dreams is gone. What she wanted to accomplish, how she wanted to create a family is gone because we had some nonsense as cops breaking in somebody's doggone house and have the audacity to kill somebody, but then yet you want to plead not guilty and firing off 10 shots. You know what? I ain't done yet. Let me give you another situation. Because just in case for some people in the audience that we may have some yahoos that may not understand the ramifications of what I say, let me give you another situation. Maybe this can bring it home for you, but let me give you another situation. Did you hear about the story of the case of a cable company ordered to pay over $7 billion in damages to a family of Texas grandmother murdered by the employee of the cable company? Did you hear this story? Now, Roy James Holden had performed a service call at the home of Betty Thomas, 83, in December of 2019. He returned the next day off duty, robbed her, and killed her, right? Now, a cable company has been ordered to pay over $7 billion in damages to the family of 83-year-old Texas grandmother Betty Thomas, who was brutally stabbed to death in her home by a Spectrum employee in 2019. Now, Roy James Holden, an installer for Spectrum owned by Charter Communications, had performed work at Thomas' home in Irving in December 2019, police said at the time. Now, Holden returned the next day in uniform and using the company's van while he was off, posing as if he was on the job, and then he killed her, then used her cards for a shopping spree after her murder. Now, in June, a Dallas County jury found Charter Communications negligent and grossly negligent in Thomas' death. Now, negligent. Now, I'm gonna intertwine it for you. He was wearing the company's uniform, driving the company's car. Now, let me put it in retrospect with the Breonna Taylor's case. They were wearing police uniform, whether you call it a SWAT team or whatever. Now, they work for the police department. You're supposed to serve and protect the community. And it's negligent when you bust down a damn door and apparently, allegedly, it was the wrong door, the wrong house. You bust down their door and then you start shooting off shots because you had a no-knock warrant and you killed an individual and possibly came close to killing another individual in their house. And you mean to tell me there was no negligence on those officers? You mean to tell me there should not be no punitive damages? You mean to tell me there should be not no mental trauma? You mean to tell me there should be not no pain and suffering? And you mean to tell me that it's only $2 million? Now check this out. The jury awarded a verdict of 375 million in compensatory damages and said that the company was responsible for paying 90% of it after the trial revealed systematic failures in the company's pre-employee screening, hiring, and supervision practices. So how about those cops who went through their screening? And I don't give a damn if they had a clean record, but how about they had gone through the training? Knowing how to, go into a situation where you supposed to say who you are, but even if you had a no walk or no knock warrant, you go in there trying to kill somebody. And then you go into allegedly the wrong house. That's lack of discernment. That's lack of far as systematic failures. On Tuesday, the verdict for the punitive damage was announced, bringing the total to $7.37 billion. Now, I'm keep it 100 with you. I'm going to tell you like this. Breonna Taylor's life and Kenneth Walker life, it should be worth right now, same range. Because you had cops coming in there and they did not even have a chance to be caught off guard like that with cops coming in there shooting first and ask questions later. Why they couldn't get started at $375 million and keep going up? Because of the systematic failures that these officers fail to do when it comes to black and brown people. Where you want to immediately do physical harm to a black and brown person and want to ask questions later. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell you something. There's a systematic failure in the police system. There's systematic failure in the law judicial system. It's not the same. This is my quarrel with the situation. And I don't care who doesn't like it. Because at the end of the day, it's worth more than $2 million to me in the settlement. Hands down, with no questions asked. It's a disrespect to Breonna Taylor's life. $2 million. Now, in the Baller Alert article, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who attempted to protect her when Louisville police stormed their home and killed her, has finally reached a settlement with the city. Now, Louisville has agreed to pay Walker $2 million to settle lawsuits in federal and state court. Walker and Taylor were in bed when Louisville police officers carried out a no-knock warrant on March the 30th of 2020. The officers were executing a drug warrant at the wrong apartment when they broke down the door. At the wrong apartment. Are you kidding me? At the wrong apartment. A life was taken, damn it. A beautiful black life was taken. And you mean to tell me $2 million is a settlement? She was a daughter. She was a girlfriend. She was a cousin. She did not deserve this. Walker, Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, hearing that they were being burglarized, fired a shot that hit Sergeant John Mattingly in his leg. Mattingly and two other officers began shooting, striking Taylor multiple times. After being shot, Taylor was not rendered any aid. Check this shit out, man. Instead, she was left to bleed on the floor. My God, man.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Just imagine that you're in Kenneth Walker shoes in that moment. Part of your job is to protect your queen. Part of your job as a man is to protect your girlfriend. And in the heat of battle, you see and you're looking at your queen, your girlfriend, the woman that you was about to ask for her hand in marriage, is laying out on the floor because she was shot twice and she was left there with no care from the officers, bleeding out to die. But you mean to tell me that a $2 million goddamn settlement is enough? Earlier this year, the United States Justice Department prosecutors charged 3 Louisville officers with fabricating the Taylor warrant in an elaborate plot that falsely linked Taylor to a wanted drug dealer. See, this is that defamation of character shit I'm talking about. You see, when you know that you fucked up, when you know you done did some bad shit, now you're trying to cover off your bad shit habits. This is what I'm talking about in the systematic failures. Where does the punitive damages come from that? There is no evidence that the 26-year-old had any relationship with the man. No evidence. None. Walker was the boyfriend, was charged with attempted murder of a police officer soon after, but charges were later dropped as outrage mounted against the city. You mean to tell me that not only that y'all killed that man's girlfriend, he had to go through more suffering because y'all, the police, wanted to charge and the prosecutors wanted to charge this man with attempted murder? You coming into that man home. As a part of the settlement, a portion will go towards establishing a scholarship fund for law school students practicing civil rights law. The Georgetown Law School Center for Innovations in Community Safety, which promotes police reform, will also receive part of the fund. You know, I'm get tired when I hear police reform because see, what's the problem that I have and that I see is that they see when it's somebody of color, they immediately have to go to deadly force. They immediately have to go and humiliate somebody that's black and brown. They immediately think the worst. I'm telling you, man, look what happened to Breonna Taylor. Despite compensation, Walker's lawyer, Steve Romans, said that the brutal death of Taylor will haunt the man for the rest of his life. This is the second time that the city of Louisville has had to fork over a massive lump sum for their despicable actions that led to Taylor's murder. In September of 2020, they settled a lawsuit with Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, for $12 million. Y'all give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts. How do you feel about the $2 million lawsuit? Do you feel that's enough money? And I understand that money is not going to bring her back because it's not. But what I tell you is that if you're going to settle with money, it needs to be a damn respectable number. So that way they can have more than enough money to create the change that is needed to make sure that another person like a Breonna Taylor will not be in this situation. That way we can start looking into changing these laws of these no-knock warrants. and start looking at more better ways to make sure that cops like these do not make the same mistakes twice again, where they start looking at situations and say, oh, we made a mistake. We knocked and bam, opened the wrong door. Because at the end of the day, an innocent life was taken. Y'all do me a favor. Go to my Affirmative Talk YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and hit that join button if you want to be a part of the membership community. Also, if you want to support in other ways, you can go to the caption of this video. And y'all already know my motto: always strive each and every day to be the best version of yourself, and make sure that you stay safe and always be blessed. Take care.
Hey, experience can't be bought. This the energy you want. Yeah, this affirmative talk. Hey, destined for greatness, that's for certain. Time to build your life with purpose. Build your self-esteem and courage. Right now, it's a lifestyle, that's for sure. Good vibes and meditation from a real life coach. Let them know. Affirmations help to make a better you. Got you feeling incredible. Affirmative talk, come on through, let's go.